Wife of 12 years cheated on me 4 years ago while I was deployed and just told me. I'll try to keep this as short as I can. 31 male and 31 female. Married for 8 years and together for 12. Lived in 5 states and traveled to 20 plus countries together. Decent amount of that time was spent apart, 3 years for my various trainings and deployments, but we sent letters and emails to each other throughout. It wasn't easy, but we did our best and got through it. I got out of the military late 2016 and we started a life together again in a new city. We were doing well, and in 2019 she asked to try an open relationship and we started working with a marriage therapist to help us through it. It took me a lot of self-learning and intense focus to get over the jealousy aspect. But it was balanced out by my attraction to the concept of it. I saw 2 people during our open relationship and she saw between 8-10. I quickly learned how easy it is to be a woman on dating apps. Overall, it actually wasn't as hard to maintain as I expected. We read a lot about it, listened to tons of podcasts. We were well prepared and seemingly transparent. We learned a tremendous amount about ourselves and each other. Though I don't think I could maintain it long term. It was a lot of work. When COVID came around, we put it on pause basically. We never really sat down and said it was officially over. But we decided it was a bad idea to continue for health and safety purposes. Last weekend, she told me we needed to talk. She confessed to me that 4 years ago, when I was deployed in the military and the month before I came home, she slept with a guy she used to work with in 2012. Just one time, but never told me until last week. This was well before we had even entertained the open agreement. Moreover, when she flew to a different state last month to visit some friends, she apparently ended up hooking up with a guy friend of hers 2 times while away. She also confessed this to me last weekend along with the 2016 cheating. When she got back initially, she just said she hung out with some old guy friends, no mention of her hookups. In our open situation, she had slept with 3 or 4 guys, but again that was during our mutual, transparent agreement. I understand this might be viewed in a certain light given our open pseudo-open 6-month relationship. But I am less focused on that and more focused on her cheating on me when we were 1,000,000% monogamous. And totally lying to me about what she did last month while traveling. I feel disrespected. Sad. Enraged. We both have worked hard for this relationship. Shared incredible experiences. And have done some truly amazing life building together. So the thought of ending it is a nightmare. I asked her to leave for a week. Got my own therapist in addition to our couples. And I made the decision to hire a divorce attorney since we have several assets needing a professional's attention. I feel like I can't ever trust her again, so what is the point of being with her? I also told her I think she might have some form of a sex addiction between the open thing and the cheating. I talked to her for the first time in a week today and she made me feel like I was overreacting. She apologized profusely and asked to start over. Again. She said I will not do any work, all of the trust building will be on her. She wants a restart and swears there will be no open relationship, no cheating, no lying, no cover-ups. She said we can recover better than ever. She said she waited so long to tell me because she was afraid of losing me and got trapped in her lies. She said she hooks up with other guys to feel like people like her and want to give her attention. She gains a feeling of self-worth from it because that is something she struggles with. I told her I retained a divorce attorney and she pleaded to do a separation for a while and thinks I was overreacting with my retaining a divorce attorney. I suffered a lot of trauma growing up. I just want to protect myself, my feelings, and my future. No matter how hard it might be to end something I've enjoyed so much. Trust is so huge to me. I can't ever look at her the same again. Am I overreacting or the crazy one here? We've been through so much together. I can't tell up from down anymore. She seems bewildered on why I was being so deadly serious about the betrayal and how, after everything I've put into keeping us together, long distance, combat deployments, open relationship, all the moves, etc. There was no second chance for her. Here is what has happened since my last post. Had a marriage therapy session to close out our feelings. It was helpful in some ways but just delaying the inevitable in my opinion. Both wife and therapist said I was moving too fast and that many couples regret divorcing so quickly. Said we should just separate and think on it for a few months before making the divorce official. After the session, I asked my lawyer to prepare the papers. Wife reluctantly signed them. So in a few months, divorce will be official. I moved out and am staying with a friend. He and his family have been extremely understanding and accommodating. Benefits of getting away from my house include clarity of thought, closer commute to work, and trusting. kind, reliable family who keep me occupied. Honestly, I would have probably drank a lot more had I not moved in with them. Slowly telling one or two more friends or family members each week. But any more than that is too much. Every time I tell someone, I get depressed all over again. But eventually people need to know. Lastly, my wife and I got into it when I went home to get some stuff a few days ago. She said her interpretation of how I filed for divorce and moved out 3 weeks from her telling me everything is that I must have been waiting for an opportunity to leave her. She also said she feels like I hate her and don't love her anymore. I replied, I am moving out and divorcing you because you hurt me. And the other assumptions are not true. She is really struggling because of how I shut it all down immediately. But her assumptions are way off. It's in her human nature. As part of her justification process, she continues to project onto me, make assumptions about why I'm saying or doing certain things. I straight up told her what I do at this point isn't shared with her anymore and I will do as I please. Unless it's legal business. No more consulting on anything. She obviously justifies her actions saying things like, you hate me don't you? It puts some responsibility on me. Again, unfair to me. She doesn't even realize it. Personally, I don't think I should have to justify my feelings to her anymore when things are at their end. Her perception of how I am doing obviously is skewed by her own imagination. But at this point I don't have anything to explain. She can think whatever she wants. You are not overreacting. She cheated and actually suggested the open relationship as well. You were the safety net and she had her fun. She is now trying to minimize your feelings of betrayal. That is just wrong and disrespectful. You have to determine if you can get over it, but count on 5 years to get back to normalcy. Some never do after decades. This would also include policing her actions, wondering where she is, etc. Keep going with the divorce proceedings. If you decide to forgive her, you can always terminate the process. You're not overreacting. It sounds like she cares more about getting laid than you, and just doesn't want to throw away the security of her life. Sorry I put it so bluntly. I kinda think it's nice that you both were able to have an open relationship. But I just can't do that. My mentality is if you want someone else you can ducking leave. She was already committed to having someone else before your conversation. She just had the conversation with you to continue doing it without the guilt. I wish you the best with whatever you decide to do. Please do what will make you the most secure in the future. I think this is a more complicated thing than I usually see on this subreddit. She actually may be being truthful, but honestly, she could be further manipulating you. An important thing I've realized is cheaters care more about their self-security than the relationship you both have. Is this a reaction of her realizing she will seem like an asshole to the people you both know? Or is it she really cares about you? Honestly, man, you're in the military. She should have waited for you. Another thing is, if you both stay, will you need reassurance she isn't cheating? Don't let her know before you check her phone or track her car or some shit, because she will incorporate that into lying to you. Hold your cards close to the chest. It's a complicated answer, but you need to keep your head open to the fact that a lot of what is being said could be manipulation. I'm sorry this is such a clusterduck of an answer. Stay strong, we're all here for you. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.